On one hand, blood and thunder is a far catchier phrase. On the other, I don't want to know what blood magic looks like in Fire Emblem. Well, you know how it goes. You lose your magic city, so every once in a while you just get drunk and start doing dark rituals in order to try and find a purpose again. But you never do. I can feel the ominous presence of a single Myrmidon. Yeah, I'm cool. Shut up, Merrick. I'm great. Garnif's subordinates, the heretic bishops. Merrick, I know who Garnif's subordinates are. You don't need to tell me about the heretic bishops. They're my favorite band, after all. Merrick said, not realizing Linde was the only mage I ever used in Shadow Dragon. Yeah, they're friends. They're also characters who never speak to each other. Etzel says this is going to be a difficult battle, but honestly, of the 3 DLCs, I have the easiest time with this one. If we have a look around at the map, we have that Myrmidon, of course. Actually, to be fair, I make fun of him, but actually, he is faster than most of our mages. The boss of this area is just a generic sorcerer, and oh hey, look at that, we have a fucking fire dragon. Yeah, not even a Monoket, it's just a full-on fucking dragon hanging out here. So, yeah, the heretic bishops are actually kinda dangerous. So, thankfully, pretty much everyone has a fairly powerful tome. The least powerful tome is Etzel's Blizzard, but even then that's not that bad. That being said, though, Merrick's tome is probably the most useful. He's using Excalibur, which we'll see its use later. That pure water really isn't that useful, considering we're not going to be fighting that many mages, and even if we were, we have good resistance more than defense. That being said, though, while Merrick's Excalibur is really good, Linde, as always, has Aura, which is also an incredibly powerful spell, and considering this is the DLC, we don't need to conserve it, so just keep using Aura. It's very strong. It does 21 damage. It does a lot to bolster Linde's strength, or magic, I guess, technically speaking. That being said, though, we're going to want to rely sort of on our more defensive characters. I believe Etzel actually has the highest defense out of everyone, but you don't want to use him to bait out enemies, because, of course, he's our only staff user. Sorcerers are a very rare class in this game. And while dark magic isn't really a thing in the DS games, sorcerers are able to wield staves before promoting, so no one else can actually heal. And while we do have vulneraries for Etzel to use, honestly, it's just better you don't get him hurt in the first place. And yeah, as I said before, that Myrmidon's fast enough to actually double us. And oh hey, look, it's Hi, McCallus. Quick question. How are you alive? Just real quick question. I'm really curious. Considering last time we saw him, he was murdered to death, I'm kind of wondering what he's doing here. I mean, like, in general as well. I don't know why he's in the desert, but, like, living. How'd you do that? Nuh-uh. I do love that he legitimately came back just to be like, no, I have a great relationship with my sister, thank you very much. Last time I saw her, she buried an axe in my skull. We're doing great. I also murdered my father. We're a great family, a lot of love here. Anyway, a quick note about the Aura and Excalibur tomes. Linde is the only one who can use Aura in this chapter, and Marika is the only character who can use Excalibur in this chapter. The reason being is Excalibur is a male-only tome that's normally a pretty high level to use, with the exception of Merrick. He's the only one who can use Excalibur at a low weapon rank. The same goes for Linde. Her Aura tome is female only, and it has a similar thing of normally you have to have a high weapon rank in order to use it, except Linde, because the weapon specifically has her, this weapon specifically mentions her, and that she can use it at lower levels. Honestly, though, I feel like the biggest problem over on this end is probably speed, actually. Since we haven't gotten many level ups, we're not really good at doubling. Meanwhile, McCallus over here could maybe solo the entire chapter. There are a few things he'd have trouble on, and he definitely needs a bit of healing here and there, but for the most part, he is absolutely the strongest character here. You know, considering Draco Knights are a promoted class in the DS games, not like their own base class. So, at the moment though, we do not want to move McCallus too far away, because moving him or Fina too far away from that starting area will trigger an event that will summon enemies in, and you absolutely don't want that until you're in a better position. Anyway, here are these dorks. Merrick, is cool as a cucumber even a phrase that's used in Arcania? What was that? I didn't say anything. Friendship is dumb and so are you. Go away. Fuck you, Merrick. I hate you, you stupid, lovable bastard who I want to impress, you stupid fuck. I hate you. Go away. Yeah, so we have another anime rival, but, I mean, unlike Navarre, he's not a murderer, he's just a teen. I mean, granted, I know he looks like he's maybe in his 20s, which means in anime he's actually like in his 40s, but also it's a lot less endearing when a 40-year-old man acts like a teen. So we're gonna say he's definitely a teen, even though he actually looks kind of old for an anime. Because otherwise I just hate him. But anyway, yeah, he's our second anime rival, because apparently we can't go a single chapter without one of those. He's alright. Thoron's not an amazing tome. It's pretty powerful, but it's no Excalibur or Aura. Honestly, for the most part, you've kind of seen the entire strategy of the map. It's pretty much just keep everybody well healed so that they can tank shots, then tank a single shot. And then after that have all of your mages descend like vultures on a carcass. Because you will overwhelm everything with your pure magical strength. Even the dragons, though. You definitely do not want any health missing when fighting a dragon, because they're kind of really, really tough. Keep in mind, we are murdering the strongest creatures in Arcania with magic. That being said, the reason it's working is because they can't attack from a distance. Gee, wouldn't it suck if that were the case? I'm glad they can't do that. That being said, though, I'm giving Linde the boots, an item that increases movement. Reason being is I want her to go get those chests in the top. Unfortunately, they're kind of in a bad spot. I did want to complete this chapter quickly, and while those chests do have the best items for this chapter, they're also in a terrible location, and you have to go out of your way for them. And I don't know why I decided to switch to Thunder. There's no point. You'd have to try to run out of aura here. Anyway, though, yeah, once you're in the courtyard, this is about where you should start moving Cultists and Fina. Once this specific dragon's dead, you'll want him out of the way. The courtyard's not so bad, especially if you just keep doing the usual strategy of baiting enemies out and just killing them. Killing them with magic. Just kill them the hell to death. But anyway, yeah, the desert tiles aren't a problem because mages can move over those normally, and Cultist is a flyer. They ignore tiles, so you don't have to care about those. Fina, however, will be slowed down by them, so do be wary of that. Alright, so, this is why you don't want to move those two too early. The enemies that came in from the north aren't a problem at all. Cultist will just easily sweep through all of these. It's absolutely not an issue. The real problem are the wyverns that spawned in from the west. So, they are dragon-type units. I'm sure somebody's going to be like, actually, wyverns and dragons are different. They count as dragons. Close enough. That being said, though, they are flyer units, meaning they have high movement. It's not going to take long for them to catch up with us. That's why you don't want to encounter them at the beginning. Now, while they are very tough, and you probably want Cultists to be in the area to take them on, so, I don't know, maybe don't do what I'm doing by killing these guys first. That being said, it's not entirely necessary, because, as flyers, they do have a weakness. Remember how I mentioned how Merrick was really important, or more specifically, his Excalibur tome was? The reason being is, it's a wind tome. Wind is actually effective against flying units. So, they're going to line up right here, which isn't actually that good because that means they can pretty much catch up to anyone for this turn. So, yeah, we do want to kill a few of those guys off, but thanks to Merrick, that's entirely possible. And yet another chest key. Not like Cultist needs these vulneraries or anything. Anyway, definitely remove the front guy. You might have noticed that the damage number on that menu was green. That just means you have a weapon type that's actually effective against the type of enemy. Of course, there's the weapon triangle. Swords effective against axes, which are effective against lances, which are effective against swords. But that doesn't show up in green on that menu. That just affects how much damage you do and your hit rate and whatnot. No. Whenever a number turns green, it's because you have a type weakness. Because certain units do have types. For the most part, that doesn't really apply to, like, ground troops. It's usually cavaliers and whatnots. You'll notice, though, up there on the top menu, the little symbols, like the little Pegasus. It is hard to notice in fast motion, but next to movement and the other one that I didn't catch before it left the screen, range. Okay, so yeah, next to movement and range, you have the little symbols that indicate what kind of type the unit is. Again, doesn't matter for mages, usually matters for, like, cavaliers and whatnot. And dang, that was a really good level up. Jeez, Edson. Alright, anyway, though, once you get rid of the wyverns, that's pretty much the toughest part of the chapter, especially now that Cultist is here. He will just destroy everything else in the chapter. He's not even taking any damage. He doesn't give a shit about anything. You can't stop him. Alright, so as I said before, those 3 chests are some of the best items in the entire map, but they're out of the way, so if you're having trouble, be a little more patient and go grab those items first. Wow, that's a pretty calm reaction. Hey, yeah, remember Cultists? You know, evil ruler, tried to kill us? Oh, yeah, he's alive. That's weird. Didn't see that one coming. How'd that happen? Everyone's just so casual about the whole thing. Anyway, though, yeah, they can talk. And again, it's just so nonchalant. Alright, well, that would be pretty dangerous if they manage to catch up, so we're gonna place McCallus in the way. McCallus, the immovable wall. He is an obstacle that they will not surpass. There, everyone's safe. Weapon advantage? Pff, whatever. It doesn't matter. So yeah, honestly, I don't think I've ever had McCallus go after the Wyverns. The Wyverns and the Dragons are the only things I could think of that might give them a challenge, but even then, they're not that bad, or at least I can't imagine they would be. And if you do have trouble with them, there is an item to help out with that as well. We'll see those in just a sec. We of course have to get back to Linde, but first, I think that's the last enemy, right? Well, for some reason, past me isn't immediately focusing what I want her to focus on, so guess we have to wait, but I'm pretty sure that's it, right? Yeah, it doesn't look like there's an enemy range there anymore. So yeah, it's just the boss who, in fairness, the boss is actually kind of tough. Alright, so the Dragon Pike is a lance that's effective against dragon-type enemies, so effective against both the dragons and the wyverns. Shaver is a wind magic that can be used by anyone, including women, so if Aura isn't cutting it against the wyverns, which, in fairness, while it did do a lot of damage, it wasn't effective against them. And lastly, we have the Lady Sword, which is a sword only women can use, so if for some reason you want to use Fina in a fight, you can give that to her. I wouldn't really suggest it, though, like everyone else has pretty much got it covered. Alright, so, thankfully we have McCallus here, because this guy doesn't take a lot of damage, but he does deal a lot of damage. And he's got a lot of HP to boot, and also he dodged. Figures. Higher number lost. Stupid weighted coin flips. They never work in my favor. That's a lie, they actually usually do. Alright, so, in an attempt to get someone that's not McCallus to kill the boss, I'm gonna dance and have Elrene try to kill him. Well, injure him, really. It's definitely not gonna be a killing blow. And there's that. Alright, well, McCallus, finish everything for us. Wow, Elrene, that was terrible. Anyway, yep, here's the end. Well, goodbye. And that's that. As I said, the prime strategy for this chapter is to bait out enemies, or alternatively, McCallus. Just McCallus. That does seem to be what they usually do. Yeah, and he didn't have soul in the first place, right, guys? Good thing Garneth will never be back ever again. As if they'd use a recurring villain in Fire Emblem. I love Elrene just being the biggest jackass. Excuse me? Okay, well then, sure, yeah. Anyway, yeah, I love Elrene just being the world's biggest jackass, and Merrick just being like, hey, let's be best friends. Come on, Elrene. You're always a jerk to me to my face, and then you whisper about how you want to be so cool in front of me when you're behind my back, so come on. Besties, consider it. Merrick, have you ever heard of a one-sided relationship? I mean, Garnoff's whole thing is that he's invincible, so I don't think that's necessarily true, but, you know, it's the thought that counts. Stupid Merrick being all friendly. Friendship is stupid and I hate it. Oh, hi Garnoff's ghost, how's it going? Trust me, the weird old man ghost. You'll be an edgy teen forever, Elrene. Trust me on this one. Ooh. Oh man. Looks like Elrene's in a lot of trouble. This would be a terrible spot for a cliffhanger right before starting the main game.